Hi friends, it's Sarah, the owner and maker behind Multifarious Nature. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're a new viewer, welcome to you. And if you're a returning viewer, big welcome back. I'm glad you guys are here joining me for another week of knitting and yarn love. So thank you for joining me again. I hope you guys are ready for a long video. I'm sure you saw the timestamp. If you didn't, this is probably going to be a long video. I'm guessing that in advance because I have a lot of information to cover. Not only shop date and update information, but also a lot of works in progress. I've been working on a lot of projects this week, so I hope you guys are ready. If you're new, I usually format it by talking about shop update first, then I'll talk a little bit about any finished objects, and then works in progress. So lots and lots and lots to talk about. So I hope you guys have a good beverage to keep you company. Got my flavored water. Let's dive right in. So shop update. So much information for you guys. So much. All right, we'll first start with the big exciting announcement, which I've already talked about last week, but I'm going to do it again because it is worth it. Advent. Now I have a little more detail I will share with you. Now that I made the listing active, I am willing to share all kinds of goodness with you guys. Advents are live. The pre-order is live, and I want to make sure you guys know about that. I posted as many updates as I possibly could, not only here on YouTube, but also on Instagram, to make sure that those of you who were interested were aware of it. If you are a newsletter subscriber, actually, before I even say that, if you are not a newsletter subscriber, make sure you subscribe if you're interested. I do share updates about new and exciting things with Multifarious Nature, as well as any discount codes. That is the only way, pretty positive, that's going to be the only way I'm going to share any discounts at this moment going forward. I just really appreciate you guys, especially those of you who also subscribe, because you're putting that investment of time into hearing and supporting Multifarious Nature. So if you guys are a newsletter subscriber, that will be the way you'll find out about any sales or discounts going on. I mean, not sales. Sales I'll talk about still if I do any sales. I really don't do a lot of sales, but I will let you know though if there's any coupon codes that will only come in the newsletter. So make sure you subscribe if you'd like to get the newsletter. So that is subscribing to the newsletter and get coupon codes through that. So if you follow the link below, actually the link is going to the website. If you just go right to the website by going to the link below, it'll pop up. That's the first thing that pops up when you go onto the website is a would you like to subscribe to my newsletter pop up. So definitely do that if you're interested in finding out more information, being the first to know, and also getting a special discount. Hey, everybody loves that, right? So definitely subscribe if you want any coupon codes. I want to make sure I make that really clear because I know people ask about coupons and stuff like that. I want to make sure you know that that is the way you get them. If you're interested in coupons, definitely do that. I just do codes once in a while. I really only do it for special occasions, and this is one of those. So there's a special code that can be applied to this year's Advent if you so choose, or this is, I should say, that is for those that have already subscribed. This newsletter was already sent out. I want to make this clear. All right, let's start from the beginning, guys. I'm so scatterbrained. Anyway, anyone who's already subscribed to the newsletter, this was for you. So if you were already subscribed prior to last weekend, when the launch went out of the pre-order launch, then you will have a coupon code in your newsletter. So check your inbox, check your spam, just in case for some reason it went there. I really do not send out many newsletters. I usually send them out maybe once a month if I'm really on top of it. Otherwise, it might be like every other month. I really try to do it once a month, but sometimes it goes a little longer than that. So I do want to let you know that. So definitely check your inbox for Multifarious Nature. I sent it to you guys, and I want to make sure that if you want to get an Advent, and that's any Advent. So this year's is superwash yarn. It's on my classic base. It is 75-25 base, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. If you want that Advent, you can use it on that, or you can use it on the past Advents. I just have a couple in shop, and The very first advent was non-superwash yarn. So if you're looking for Peruvian Highland wool, which is one of my absolute favorite bases, oh my gosh, I love it. It's phenomenal. I love it. It's great for so many things. I really feel like it could be used for anything. I especially loved doing any type of cable work with it, textured stitches. It's amazing. Amazing for that. So if you want a non-superwash advent, which there aren't that many out there, I know I had been looking in the past, so there's not that many out there. So if you are someone who really wants a non-superwash, I think I have like one or two, just a couple of those advents left. And I think I have about one or two of my last year's advent, which is my multiple bases. So if you look at the listing, it'll explain it to you better than I am. But both of those prior years are 24 20-gram minis, one 100-gram mini. So if you look at that listing, it'll explain the bases and everything, but those are superwash bases. So there's that. And you can definitely use that code on the prior years. I just want to make sure you guys know that in case you want a non-superwash advent. All right. But if you do, make sure you hop on over there because I really have a very limited amount of those. Oh, and the prior 2 years will ship immediately. They are in stock. I already dyed those up. They'll ship immediately. So it'll be up to you to keep it tucked away, hidden away, so you don't open it until Christmas if you want to wait until December. Okay? So I'll let you know that. For this year though, for this year's advent, it is going to be superwash yarn on that classic base, 75-25 merino nylon. And then it's going to be 4 sock sets is what it is. So what does that mean? So there will be a sock set for each Sunday of Advent. So starting from December, the beginning of December through to Christmas. There's the 4 Sundays before Christmas, and that's when you would open each sock set, and they will be wrapped individually for each of those Sundays, and it will be labeled with the date. So normally I number it 1 through 25 because normally the advents I've been doing were day 1 through 25. This one is going to be the dates for each Sunday leading up to Advent. So I wanted to make sure you guys knew that. So you'll have it would have the number for the day on there. Be hand stamping it with my vintage stamps like I did the year prior. So I'm really excited about that. I think you guys will absolutely love it. The colors are going to be amazing. I'm so excited. They're going to be very layered, lots of fun stuff going on, some speckles. I'm super pumped about it. There's so many ideas. So there's going to be the complementing or contrasting heel, toe, and cuff color. That is going to be a 20-gram mini for each sock set, and then a 100-gram skein for each sock set of a color to go along with that mini. So you can do a lot of things with that, though. That does not hold you to doing socks. There's going to be over 2,000, I wrote down, 2,220 yards of yarn in this year's Advent. So I want to make sure you knew that. You can make a lot of things with that. Over 2,000 yards of yarn can make pretty much anything. You can make sweaters, you can make shawls, which I know is one of my favorite things to do. You can definitely make socks, so you can make multiple pairs of socks with that amount of yarn. And I mean, really, the limit is your imagination when it comes to what you can make. I will let you know there is no patterns coming along with this Advent, but I will always include a list of patterns I recommend. Most of those patterns will be patterns I have either done myself or patterns that have been highly recommended by people that I very much admire and trust. So if they say they love that pattern, then I'm going to trust that it's a good pattern. So I will list those as recommendations so you guys will have like a jumping off point to go from there and create as you will. Because it is a sock oriented Advent, because they're sock sets. Initially, the pattern recommendations that I'm going to include are sock patterns. However, if you aren't sure prior to purchasing an Advent, you're like, I just don't know what patterns I can do. I don't know what to do with an Advent. Help me. please do reach out to me. I love to hear from you guys, and I have received multiple emails of people asking that in the past, and I am more than happy to share recommendations of patterns for you guys. I do all kinds of things with Advents, so I don't limit it to Advent patterns. There are many Advent patterns out there for scarves, I mean everything. What I like to do is just take whatever I want. So one of the Advents, like last year's Advent, I got Suburban Stitcher's Advent. Hers came with a pattern, and so I did do that pattern with her Advent. But for my personal Advent that I dye up, the Multifarious Nature Advents, the past couple years I had done the Shake It Up shawl. There we go, by Anna Johanna. She has this really beautiful shawl that has lots of different textures going on. It's gorgeous. It's large. It's a very large shawl, and I have made multiples of that, and it worked so well with Advents. So like, don't limit yourself to Advent patterns. You can definitely do any pattern with an Advent. Excuse me. You just have to kind of figure out how much of each color you want to use. So I went through the pattern, and based on each section, I kind of just did some math. Like, this is how many colors I have. These are how many sections there are. If I divide that up, how many colors can I fit in each section? That's pretty much the long and short of how I customized it so that I could make a really fun custom shawl that I would love. And I absolutely love those shawls. They're some of my favorite shawls to wear, and they're super colorful, and I still absolutely love them. I felt like I wore my first Advent shawl so many times, and the hilarious thing is that was the one I made with, oh, for goodness sake, tassels, and I didn't think I'd wear it, because I was like, I'm not a big tassel person, and I wore it so much. So I just want to let you guys know that you can do whatever you want. Sorry, I got a tickle in my throat. So definitely reach out to me if you have any questions about Advent. Alright, next, order of business. I did not talk about it last week. I don't think I did. But I wanted to address it. So I mentioned I was going to make, because I didn't forget about it. I just forgot to talk about it. I did not want you guys to think I forgot about creating a custom order listing. So on the website, I said I was going to make a custom order listing. I forgot. The website that I use, the excuse me, the platform that I use does not have a really seamless way of doing that. You can create listings for items, but when it comes to custom orders, it just really doesn't have a friendly way of doing that. So I have a workaround to that. It's totally fine. I'm going to, between tonight and tomorrow, so today's Thursday, so probably primarily tomorrow, Friday, so by Saturday it will be live. So by Saturday the 9th, no, 10th, oh, I don't know my dates, this is terrible, the 10th of June in 2023, there will be a listing, or not even a listing, it's actually going to be a section. So when you're on the website, if you're on a computer, it looks this way. If it's on a phone, it may be different. But on the computer, it's going to be listed on your left side of your screen. When you go to multifariousnature.com, there's a bunch of content listed there, like yarn, about me section, all of that. It's kind of all listed there, kits, things like that. If you click on the yarn bases, which will be live this Saturday, yeah, I'm committing to it, you guys, I'm gonna do it. Yarn bases page, if you click on that, it's gonna give you a list of all the bases that are available. So these are the bases that are my go-to bases that I order on a regular basis, and they'll be listed on there. So I'm gonna come up with little clever names, not gonna be that clever, like for example, my Surrey base is going to be my Surrey alpaca silk blend base. So I'll put that on there. So I'll put the content, the yardage, if I know if it's like a 2-ply or what have you, I'll put all that information on there, and it will be divided by base type. So if it's like lace weight, fingering, most of my bases are fingering weight. I'll have that all listed there. That way you know what bases I have available. So then all you have to do is, if you want to do a custom order, which I will let you guys know, that is primarily that is the primary way that I do sales. So I do try to dye up approximately a sweater's quantity of yarn of most colors when I dye them up. However, there comes a point where I may sell out of a lot of it, so there's only a couple skeins left, or I just dye up a couple of a colorway because I just kind of want to test it out and see what you guys think about it. So really, my primary is custom orders. So if you go on my website and you go, gosh, there's only 3 skeins of this yarn left, or there's 5 skeins, but I need 6, definitely reach out to me. Or you love the color, but you don't like the base, it's not your favorite base, maybe it's on alpaca and you don't work well with alpaca, it makes you itch, then by all means, please, please, please contact me. It does not cost you more, okay? So custom orders do not cost more. Custom orders cost the exact same as if you went on my website and you ordered the yarn. So I want to let you know that. So if you reach out to me by hitting the contact me section on my website and just say, hey Sarah, I would really love your, I don't know, let's say strawberry shortcake colorway. I would really love your strawberry shortcake colorway on your merino nylon base, because I don't see it in stock on there. I would really love it on a merino nylon, and I want 6 skeins of it because I want to make a sweater out of it. Then, oh my gosh, that's awesome. I love that. So I will obviously jump on that. I would love to do that for you. So I will let you know that my custom orders are going to take at least about 4 weeks for me to do. It'll probably be faster than that, but I always say that because I have to, one, I only keep so much stock of yarn bases in stock, so I may need to order it. So that takes about a week to get, and then on top of that, then I have to dye it. So the dyeing doesn't take that long. I am pretty quick about turnaround with dyeing yarn. However, I need to make sure I have the base. So that being said, I would absolutely love for you to do custom orders. That's my go-to. I absolutely love custom orders. All of those of you who have placed custom orders with me, thank you so much for your support. I absolutely love it, and I love seeing your finished objects. Oh my gosh, it literally, it just makes my day so much. I love it. I absolutely love it. So please tag me. If you're on Instagram, tag me at, Multifarious Nature. Definitely tag me on, Ravelry, like message me, let me know. I would love to see it. It makes me so excited. So yeah, definitely share that with me, because those of you who have, oh my gosh, it just lights up my heart. So thank you. Anyway, now we'll get into the works in progress. All right, so yeah, no finished objects. I skipped that. So there's no finished objects, but lots and lots and lots of works in progress. Oh my goodness. I have worked on so many projects, which means I didn't make a lot of headway, but I did work on a lot of projects. So first one is my Coffee and Jewels sweater by Leslie Ann Robinson. I love this sweater. So here we go. Made progress, you guys. Not a lot of progress, but progress nonetheless. It's brioche, but it's the sleeve, so it's going a little bit faster. I have a little bit of a sleeve. I think in reality, this is all I've knit, like a couple inches. But those of you that have done brioche know it takes twice as long to make progress in brioche. But it's just been wonderful. So I did not knit on this exclusively this week, so that is why I'm not done with the sleeve, because you're probably thinking if I knit on it exclusively, I'd be done with the sleeve. I am not. But I definitely have some decent progress. And I am so excited. Really enjoying working on it still. I just don't know. There's something about brioche. It is just very addicting in its own right. It's the rhythm of it. It's the rhythm of brioche that is addicting. If you haven't tried it, I definitely recommend it. This is with multiple Multifarious Nature bases. They are held with 2 different colors per section, or you have your foreground and your background. But I have multiple colors here. So this one we have Aurora and Vecna colorways, Vecna and Cranberry, Cranberry and Wilting Roses, then Wilting Roses and Off to Oz, then Off to Oz and Aurora. Pretty sure it's Aurora, yeah. Off to Oz and Aurora, and then back to Vecna and Aurora again. So there you have it. That is my Coffee and Jewels sweater. Still working on it, still going strong. I am not putting this back into the sleeping corner. It is going to be a work in progress that I just keep on working on until I finish it. That's the goal. Now that I'm on the sleeves, I feel like this is a possibility because when I was doing the body months and months and months ago when I first started it, it just seemed like this was going to be a never-ending cycle, and I think I just got a little burned out when I was working on it. Now I'm all for it. All for the brioche again. I'm super excited. I feel like brioche kind of comes and goes for me. I get really excited about it, and then I get kind of over it, but now I'm excited about it, so working on it as much as possible. All right, the next one is one that I forgot to talk about last week, and I think I had worked on it, but I don't know. Maybe I didn't. This is the Rummy Camisole by Kydri, which I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but it is a camisole. There you go. There it is. It says that it is a difficulty of a little over medium difficulty. It's pretty easy, but you just kind of have to understand how to do increases, not only knit increases left and right, you also need to understand purling increases, which is a little bit of a learning curve. It's not hard, but learning curve. This is a purchase pattern, so I cannot give you too much information, but we have a one finished side, and then I am working on the front of the other side, and then we will work on the back of the other side. So I am just trucking along on this, very excited. I am using a base that I am loving working with, okay? So again, I am not a fan of cotton yarn. Cotton yarn and I don't get along very well. It makes my hands hurt. But this base, which is a cotton linen base, which actually is 52% cotton, so it's more cotton in it than linen, but 52% cotton, 48% linen. It is the Maggie Knits Irish MK collection luxury hand knitting yarn. I got this on eBay a year or two ago, and it's very, very soft. It is a beautiful color. The color is 21. This may be a retired color because this was, again, from eBay, but it's so pretty. It's this neutral taupe with kind of a pinky rose taupe color. It's so beautiful. So I think this is going to be one of those really comfortable tank tops that I can wear all the time, and I can layer it under things. I'm really excited about that for the summer because we have pretty mild weather here in Michigan, but then we get those random days that are like 90 degrees, and having something like this would be amazing. Even 80 degrees, this would be great. And that's in Fahrenheit for those of you that are overseas. But yeah, it's just this really beautiful, stretchy fabric, and I'm absolutely loving this pattern. Absolutely loving it. I worked on it on my lunch break today, and I hadn't worked on it since last weekend, so that was really fun to do. So very much enjoying that. I am using my Knit Picks 4 square needles in the Majestic color. It's the Majestic is the color, I guess, or what have you. I think it only comes in one color, but they're squares, and it's really nice working with these squares, especially with cotton. So normally I worked with cotton with my metal needles, my Chow Goos, which I love my Chow Goo. I still love my Jogu. But with cotton, I find these square needles to be very helpful for someone like myself that cotton usually hurts my hands. So if you're someone that cotton usually hurts your hands, maybe try a square set of needles. I don't know. It might help. It helped me. So there's that. Next, I have 2 caps that I'm working on. Actually, before I get to the caps, so I have 2 caps I'm working on, but the next one that I just started, I just cast it on because I don't have enough projects going on, apparently. Apparently I don't. But I got sucked into it, you guys. I got sucked into it. I've been watching many people and viewing many Instagram posts and many people sharing their half and half triangles wrap by Purl Soho. It's a free pattern. And I just started working on it. So obviously, for those of you who don't know, it is a feat. It is a large, very large shawl. But it's a special shawl. Like, I feel like this is going to be a very good investment of my time. Because not only is it 2 shawls in one, because you can flip it over and you have 2 different colors, but when you unfold it, it's a massive square. Like, massive. So it's a blanket. It's a blanket, and it's a shawl, and it's another shawl. You get 3 things for the time and energy and funds that it takes to make it. So I feel like that's a great investment of your time, right? So what I'm doing, I am using my Kismet colorway, which I'm so excited because I've wanted to knit with this since I dyed it up recently. I get that way about every color that I dye up, but this one in particular I'm just really, really, really excited about. So this is Kismet, if you're not familiar with it. It is a beautiful, variegated, speckled colorway, and it's primarily kind of a peach undertone all over. But here it is caked up. And here it is at the very, very, very beginning of the shawl. So I cast on the biggest. There's a big and bigger version. There we go. So I did the biggest version, of course, because might as well do that. I'm using my Kismet colorway dyed up on my alpaca base. So this is 20% superfine alpaca, 60% superwash merino, and 20% nylon. It is super, super, super soft. It's so warm. So I made a cardigan out of this, and it's awesome. So I was really excited to make a shawl out of it. It is so luscious working with it. It's just really smooth and slides right off the needle, and really does slide right off the needle. So if you're working with metal needles, put stoppers on the end because it will slide right off your needle. Anyway, so I cast on 260 stitches. That's what this calls for. So it's garter stitch, you guys. It's knitting back and forth. So I'm going to do the version kind of like what Edible Thoughts did. She's on YouTube, and she has a tutorial and tips on how to do her version. So the way she did it is when it comes to the short rows, instead of doing wrap and turns, which I don't mind wrap and turns, but she did German short rows, which I kind of like the look of how the German short rows work. I love German short rows. I've done sweaters with German short rows, and I feel like it looks really good. So I'm doing that. I also did the German twisted, not German twisted. Yeah, I guess it is. It's the German twisted. Some people call it Norwegian cast on. It's the, oh my gosh. It's the Norwegian, I'm getting all my terms jumbled into one. It's the Norwegian cast on. That's what she calls it. That's what I'm going to call it. The Norwegian cast on. So if you can really see what this fabric's gonna look like from this itty bitty 2 rows that I did. I don't think you really can get adjust for it. Hopefully by next week I'll have a little bit more knit so that you guys can get a little bit of a better adjust for what this is gonna look like. But it's gonna give me some really nice speckling and variegation of color going on throughout this triangle. So the first triangle, which is the larger of the 2 triangles, I am doing, or the smaller of the 2 triangles, I'm doing my Kismet colorway. So that's my variegated. And as much as I wanted to do so many other combinations, because if you look at Instagram and Facebook, I think I shared it on there because I usually share it on both at the same time. I shared a bunch of different combinations that I want to do for the half and half triangles wrap, or I think would be really fun for the half and half triangles wrap. So if you need some ideas, hop on over to my Instagram. It's Multifarious Nature. But I ended up going with this one because I got so excited. I wanted to work with a bright and colorful pink. And this is not normally, excuse me, not normally a color that I wear a lot. But sometimes you have to knit projects because you want to knit it. Like, you enjoy the process. And it's going to be a shawl that I'll wear as a shawl, but I'll definitely wear it as a blanket. And I feel like this combination is just amazing to me. This makes me so happy. So the way it's going to work is one shawl will look like this with a little bit of the pink showing underneath, and then of course you can do the opposite where you do the pink with a little bit of this showing. I think I would wear it primarily with this one showing and the pink just being a fun pop of color underneath. But then of course as a blanket it'll just be these 2 wonderful colors, and how fun is that? So this is my Strawberry Shortcake colorway if you are curious. If you're looking for a super fun pink that's nice and vibrant, this is that color. So yeah, so Strawberry Shortcake, this is a semi-solid, and this I am currently sold out of it because I took it all. I mean, I took the last that I had in the shop because it takes 3 of each colorway to make this shawl. So the last that I had was 3. Sorry guys, I took it. But that doesn't mean you can't have it. Just contact me via the contact me on my website and let me know what base you'd like it dyed up on, and I am more than happy to dye up more of the Strawberry Shortcake. So this is 80% superwash BFL and 20% nylon. So this is my BFL base. Yes. Again, Strawberry Shortcake, Kismet. I'm so excited. This is that half and half triangles wrap. Definitely keep an eye on Instagram because I tend to post most time on there because it's very easy to do so. And I will just be sharing as I go along so you can see how the color's working up. But I'm so excited to work with this. So soft. And of course, alpaca is amazing for shawls. It's wonderful drape. And of course BFL as well is a wonderful drape. So the 2 together, match made in heaven, as far as I'm concerned. So I'm very excited about that. As much as I obviously enjoy the brioche, which is a more complicated, it takes more focus. Knitting, this is going to be the perfect opposite to that, where I can just knit along, don't have to think, it's just knitting, 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 knitting until I get to the little stitch marker, and then I do my little German short row, and then I knit, knit, knit on the way back. I mean, it sounds absolutely blissful. So I'm very excited. I'm, of course, late to the bandwagon. Everybody and their brother, sister, cousin has knit this, apparently. I mean, there's over 2,000 some people that have knit this shawl, and I'm all for trying to support new pattern makers out there, but I tried to look for other patterns similar to this by new designers, but this one just kept popping up, and there you go. So yeah, I cast it on, I did. I got sucked into it, I know, but it sounded just absolutely wonderful, and so far it is. I've only done 2 rows because, well, like I said, it's 260 stitches, but they have been wonderful to knit. So that is my latest addiction. And speaking of half and half triangles wrap, this is one of the combos. I have multiple combos that I'm just in love with. But this color, for one, I want to see knit up so bad. I literally wanted to knit with it just to see it knit up. But I was like, no. I really want to knit with Kismet. I really want to knit with that one. But I really want to see this one knit up. So this is my rainbow, my version of a rainbow. This is part of a limited run, so I'm not going to be dyeing more of this one. And this is part of the Stranger Things limited run sets. So this is my Rainbow Room colorway. It is gorgeous. This is definitely a heavily variegated colorway. Super beautiful. Got some really like orangey red color going on. We've got some yellows, a little bit of like orange because of the in between. We've got some teal, blue. It's just gorgeous. Some green in there. It's I love this colorway. I love it. And this is on the my Superwash Merino Nylon Gold Stellina base. So it's very plump, very squishy. And look at all that sparkle. Oh, yeah. 75% Superwash Merino, 20% nylon, 5% Gold Stellina. So 438 yards in this puppy. Gorgeous. And I really want to see it with this one because I feel like it's going to be a super fun complement. It's a bright color, but it's semi-subdued. And yet, when you pair it with this Rainbow Room, I think this is going to make it amazing. So this is Fields of Gold. So this is a kind of a golden, it's golden yellow with some golden speckling throughout. And then we have some green speckling. There's a little bit of like blue speckling, kind of obviously like flowers and such, but primarily gold. And that I feel as the contrast color of a half and half triangle wrap, I feel like would be amazing. I feel like you can definitely do 2 different skeins of yarn that are speckled or textured, and it's going to be awesome because I primarily saw a lot of people on YouTube doing solid half and half wraps, like solid colors or semi-solids. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but for me, as someone who, to me, that would get boring after a while working with a solid color, knitting that much yardage. So I don't know if you're like me. I think that doing something that is like slightly speckled as one color or heavily speckled, and then something variegated or speckled as the other colorway, I feel like it's fun and it will make it more interesting for you, because when you're doing something that large and knitting along and it changes color and you see little speckles popping out, I feel like it just makes you that much more intrigued to keep going. I'm like that. So when I'm knitting away, especially on this one so far, and I can see the next color layer coming in and seeing the speckles pop in and everything, that just makes me that much more excited to keep on knitting and seeing how this color is going to transform. So that's why I want to see this one knit up so bad. I think it's going to be absolutely gorgeous. I've wanted to do socks with it. I have yet to do it, but I want to so bad. So if you're looking for a super fun set and you love color, just saying, you guys, Fields of Gold and Rainbow Room. But get it while you can, because they're limited runs. Actually, Fields of Gold is not, but this one is a limited run, so once it's gone, it's gone. So I definitely think that would be an amazing combination. Just saying. Anyway. Half and half triangles wrap. Everybody should just make one. Everybody should. Join me in the madness of the half and half triangles wrap. So the next thing I'm working on are 2 hats. I stopped working on this quite a bit this week, and I was working on it hardcore last week, so I need to get back into it. Last weekend I did receive my double pointed needles, which I need, well, I didn't need them per se, but it makes my life a lot easier to use those to do the top of the cap, but I messed up on this one. So this is, and it's an easy pattern, you guys. Anyway, it's the Checkered Chemo hat, and the designer is Amanda Keep. It's a free pattern. These are going to be donations, and I'm using the yarn that they provided to me. Whoops, label fell right off. It's the Morocco Comfort yarn, knitting worsted. And the colorway is 9771. And it's a really pretty, like, gray color. So it was a lot of fun to knit this so far, but I screwed up. So after I started doing decreases, I very quickly realized that I needed to do another repeat of this section, because if you look at the size of this hat, there is absolutely no way that that is going to fit someone's head. I mean, I know it's going to grow a little bit, but it's too small. It's way too small. So, especially when you look at the model, I mean, I know it's a mannequin, but you can see it's too small. So I'm going to have to rip back, not too much, but I'll have to rip back out of the decreases and just pop this right back onto my circular. I may not even put it back onto my circular. I might just do it with the double pointed needles. It just depends. So I did get my double pointed needles. I got them off of yarn.com, and they are Knitter's Pride Zing is the brand. I had received some with the advent from Jimmy Bean's wool last year, and I really liked those teeny tiny ones, so I got these larger ones. They were also on sale. Yes, score. So they might not be anymore, but yeah, there we go. So slowly making my way through this because I messed up, and that anytime I mess up, it kind of like throws a wrench in things, and then I obviously have to rip it back, and then I just put it off because I don't want to rip back, but I will. And then the other one I'm working on, also for donation, is the Vine Lace Cap by Kelly Meyne. And this one is also a free pattern. And I was working on it, and then I just got sidetracked from it, but I am unstucking it and making my way through it. I don't have too much further, and then I'll be doing decreases, so I think I'll try to work on that tonight as my evening knitting. But I know that half and half triangles wrap is going to suck me back in again, because it's just, oh, I love knitting on the Kismet colorway right now. But here you go. So you can see the lace work, super easy. This is very easy. If you're looking for a really fun beginner's lace knitting hat, I highly recommend this, you guys. This was very easy to do. There's just a little bit of lace, so it's just enough to get you into learning how to do it. And it was really fun and really easy. So definitely recommend that. And I've got my little sheep row, little charm here. So cute. And yeah, I am just moving along on this. And I think pretty soon I'll be able to start decreasing, and then this one will be done. So I could finish this tonight. I could finish both of these tonight if I actually committed to it. But we'll see about that. I get so distracted by all the fun projects, and I really want to work with that Kismet yarn. I've been wanting to work with it, and I cast on. You know how that goes. Like with a new shiny object, you just want to work on it all the time. But tomorrow I am definitely committing to working on the website. I will be primarily working on that and getting that page ready for you guys. So that way it'll be much easier for you. If you want to do custom order, just click on that yarn bases page. It'll give you all the base information. That way you can figure out which colorway you want and just let me know the base, and I'm more than happy to dye it up for you. Makes me so excited. All right. So that's it for my works in progress that's going on that I'm working on currently. And I did do a little bit more scouring on more fleece last week. I think it was over the weekend a little bit. I did a little bit more scouring of that curb ram fleece, and I did a different method than Taylor E. Owen's method. I did a different method that I had seen. There was a couple ladies from actually from Shetland, and this is their go-to method for cleaning Shetland wool. So I was like, well, it's Shetland wool, I should try it. And the way they did it It's actually pretty easy. I didn't think it would be easy because I thought it's time consuming because you're just plucking locks. But what you do is you take a lock and then what I did that's different than what they did, I pre-soaked it. So I did that method of Taylor E. Owens where I let it soak for like hours, like 24 hours, let it soak. And then I took the like dirtiest tip and I swirled it in boiling hot water that had soap in it. I wore gloves, heat resistant gloves, because you don't want to burn yourself. And I swirled it in there, and then kind of lifted it out, looked at it, flipped it over, and then swirled it again, and then pulled it out, and then dunked it in just hot water, like a rinse. Dunked it in there and kind of swirled it, and then put it into a pillowcase that I put into my spin dryer when I was done. And I have to say, I really liked that method. I didn't think I'd necessarily like it, but I did, and here's why. So the other method that I had done worked fine, but I did find the way I did it was a little different than Taylor's. Instead of doing the individual locks, because when I did the individual locks, it got a little crazy. Things got kind of almost felted. They weren't felted, but they kind of got all stuck together. So the second time I tried it, I took sections of the fleece and put them into the boiling water and boiled it and then rinsed it that way. And then that worked pretty well, but I did notice there were quite a few areas that I still had a hard time getting some of the dirt out of. So this method got pretty much most of the dirt out and actually left just a little bit of lanolin, which I am not against leaving a little bit of lanolin because for spinning, it actually makes it a little easier, for me at least, having a little bit of lanolin in there. So I kind of loved it. I kind of did, you guys. So I'm going to try that again because I think that's going to be kind of my go-to method for Shetland. And I might try it for a merino as well, but definitely for Shetland. So there you go. For those of you that are into cleaning fleeces, give it a try. Let me know what you think. But wear heat-proof gloves. Don't burn yourself. All right, and last but not least, life update. I always like to give you guys a little life update if you're interested. And for those of you that stick around, thank you for sticking around. I think I talked about this last week. We had relocated all the birds, so they're kind of together now for the most part, which makes feeding and watering in the morning so much easier for the most part. It's further from our house, so it takes a little bit longer in that sense, but they're at least together, so you're not trying to run to different points of your property. There you go. And other life update, I did mention I'm trying to eat healthier. I mentioned that a while back. Lifestyle-wise, a whole lot of things. There's a whole lot of reasons, personal reasons and such. I'm just trying to eat healthier, get myself in a good place. So, I have for over a month now, so that's why I feel like I can recommend it. I, for over a month, have a month and a half. I think it's been a month and a half. A month and a week. A month and a week. I have been following I don't know if you'd call her like a nutrition. She's not a nutritionist, I don't think. She's kind of a lifestyle person. She's a lifestyle person on YouTube. But she has a website. She's written multiple books now based off of basically the way her lifestyle. So the way she eats, the way she exercises, things like that. Primarily the way she eats. And I loved her little name. It's very catchy. On YouTube, you can look it up. It's High Carb Hannah is the name of her YouTube channel. And she has tons of videos out there, lots of information about how she lost a lot of weight and got very healthy eating the way she eats. She I think, primarily falls under kind of like the vegan end of things. I'm not an expert on that, so don't quote me. But it's primarily vegetables, fruit, that kind of thing. I'm not vegan. I eat meat. I also love fruit and vegetables. So I've primarily been eating fruit and vegetables for the like past month and a week. However, I sneak meat in there here and there because I still want to keep meat in my diet. But it's been like chicken primarily, and then sometimes some beef. But I would definitely have fish in there as well and things like that. So, but I have to say, so far, after doing that, I have lost some weight, which is great, and I haven't like exercised a lot more than I was prior. So that's wonderful. So that definitely means that it has something to do with how I'm eating. I have decent energy. I feel really good. Physically, feel really good. I had been taking something to just kind of help myself sleep, very natural thing that I was taking. And I actually forgot. This is hilarious. So I was tired last night, getting ready for bed, and I actually forgot to take it. I forgot to take it. And I had been taking it for a couple months now. And I forgot to take it. And I slept so good. I slept so good, you guys. I had a deep sleep. So good. So I have to say, I don't know if it's necessarily because of how I'm eating, but it isn't hurting. Like I guess I want to put it that way. It's not hurting. And it's really funny because if you watch her videos and you actually look at the portion size of the amount of food that she has, it is like mentally it looks like too much food, but it's just vegetables and fruit. So it's really not that much food. It's a lot of food, but it's really nutritiously dense food. I don't know. I'm not a dietitian. I am no expert by any means, but I did want to share that with you guys because I've been trying it now for a decent amount of time, and I feel good. So, but if I stepped up, fitness, things like that, obviously that would increase my rate of certain things, but I definitely think it is extremely helpful the way I'm eating right now. And I'm eating a lot of vegetables and beans and things like that. So if you're someone who's just trying to figure out a healthier way of eating because you feel like you're stuck in a rut, which for me, I did. I felt like I was a little bit stuck in a rut with how to do that. And I just follow her. I've been following her recipes. I have the books where there's meal plans in it, so it makes it easy for me. It gives me a shopping list and all of that, so I don't have to think about it. It's there. I follow it. It's helpful. And it's working great. So I'm going to keep following her meal plan for a little longer, and then I have her recipe books so I can then go rogue and do my own meal planning. But I like the fact that it tells me exactly what to do. It's very helpful. So yeah, if you're looking for something like that, there you go. High Carb Hannah. Check out her YouTube. Not sponsored. I purchased her books, so there you go. She had a deal going on. She might still have a good deal going on, which was a really good deal. And it's just that you print the books. That's how she can get away with an extra good deal. You're not buying hard copies. All right, so there you have it. That is this week's podcast. I hope you guys are doing well. I'd love to hear from you. If you have done a half and half triangles wrap, let me know. Share a photo or if you're currently working on it, let me know so that I know we're working on it together. We can motivate each other. Even though I feel like I don't think I'm going to need help motivating working on this. I feel like it's just going to feel wonderful to work on because the habitation throw that I did last Advent with my Multifarious Nature Advent. So last year I did the habitation throw, and it was so relaxing, and it was primarily garter stitch. There's a little bit of lace work in there, but it's primarily garter stitch. So there you go. I'm feeling like this is gonna be nice. I'm liking it so far. So if you want to join in on this fun with me, please do so. Let me know. Let me know in the comments below if I convinced you to do the half and half triangle wrap. Let me know below if you are already doing it. Let me know if you're just not sure and you need someone to convince you. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week, and I look forward to catching up with you soon. Take care. Bye.